Well, the other day I was waiting in the bus stop as it was raining very heavily, and there were other few people in the bus stop too. Among them there was one girl. She was on her phone, maybe talking to a friend, and she was speaking quite loudly. So I think everyone in the bus stop was overhearing what she was saying. So suddenly, as she was conversing, she said, "It's raining cats and dogs here." And there was a small boy out there. He was, very confused. He looked once at her, quizzically, thinking, and then again he looked at the sky. Well, he was imagining something like this. And, hearing her say, "It's raining cats and dogs here," but then when he looked in the sky, he saw something like this. And why was he confused? Yes, he was confused because she was using an idiom. And idioms have their own figurative meaning. And if we try to understand them, breaking up into the literal meaning of the words, then we'll never be able to understand an idiom. When she said "it's raining cats and dogs here," she meant it's raining heavily. It's an idiom for raining heavily. So now that you know it, you can use it when it rains heavily. Hello, I'm Seema from Edufinite. Today let's learn about some common idioms which will enhance your vocabulary to the advanced level and make you sound more fluent and confident. Without much ado, let's begin. Now, before we jump into the idioms, let's understand what is an idiom and how do we identify it? Like, how do we know that it's an idiom? Well, firstly, an idiom is a phrase or a group of words that are put together to mean something figurative, which is very different from its literal meaning. So the literal meaning of the words it's composed of will never be the meaning of the idiom. The meaning of the idiom will be something figurative. Just as I said earlier, "It's raining cats and dogs here" doesn't mean that cats and dogs are falling from the sky. It means it's raining heavily. Okay, so the second point is both the grammatical form as well as the vocabulary of the idiom are fixed. That means if we tend to change them, why are they fixed? Because if we tend to change them, they'll lose their idiomatic or figurative meaning. Now, I'll explain this with an example. So I'm telling someone, maybe my son or whoever, or my student who is very jittery, he is very nervous and, can't sit still, being fidgety. "Oh my God, tomorrow is my exam. What will I do? I don't know this, that." People, become very nervous before the exams. So that's how it is. So to calm him or her down, I tell them or tell him or her, "You've got ants in your pants. Calm down and study hard and you'll do well in your exams." So that's how I try to pacify them. Now, if I say "you've got ant in your pant," that literally means that there is an ant in that person's pant. Or if I say "you've got red ants in your pant," then also it will mean that red ants are there. So the idiomatic meaning or the figurative meaning of the idiom will no more be applicable. Okay, now the first idiom that we look into is "make a beeline for." Now, what does that mean? It means to go straight to someone or something. That means you don't go here and there. You make up your mind and you go straight to that point. So let's look into an example to understand it better. After coming out of the movie theater, Raj made a beeline for his car. So Once he's out of the movie theater, he did not go here, he did not go there. From the movie theater, he straight went to his car. So that's, he made a beeline for his car. While returning from the office, George made a beeline for the grocery store. So George needed to pick up some grocery for his family. So straight from his office, he went to the grocery store. To say that idiomatically, you say, while returning from office, George made a beeline for the grocery store. Next, once the scrapping of the bonus policy was announced, you know what will happen? The employees made a beeline for the boss's office. Yes, everyone, why? They'll go and, eat up the boss's head. Why is the bonus scrapped? We want it, so this all will continue. So what happened? The employees made a beeline to the boss's office. That means they straight went to the boss's office. Okay, the next one. Straight from the horse's mouth. Yes. Literally, it doesn't mean that. It means hearing directly from a reliable source. So when you hear a news, it has to be straight from the horse's mouth to, depend on that particular news, because nowadays there are so many fake news going around. So if you have to believe that news, it has to be from the horse's mouth. Now let's look into the examples. I know Jenny is promoted because I heard it straight from the horse's mouth. So Jenny's promotion, maybe I'm telling my friend, Jenny has been promoted, and maybe she's a little skeptical. Jenny promoted? I don't think so. Then I assure her that I've heard it straight from the horse's mouth. That means I've heard it from Jenny herself. Don't believe the story you heard unless it's straight from the horse's mouth. Just as I told you, fake stories are all going around so much. So, unless you hear it from the horse's mouth, never believe it. Next. So there, you hear it straight from the horse's mouth. Now I guess you will believe it. So there was some news, and maybe it was about some person, and that person himself or herself comes and declares that. So then I tell my friends, so there you are. It's straight from the horse's mouth. Now you have to believe it. Okay, the next one is killing two birds with one stone. Now, it's not the literal meaning. You don't throw a stone and kill two birds. It has a figurative meaning, and the figurative meaning is to succeed in getting two things done in a single action. Okay, so sentences. Whenever I jog, I listen to podcasts on various topics. That way, I kill two birds with one stone. I stay fit and acquire the knowledge as well. So, what am I doing? I am jogging and listening to the podcast. So, what is it doing then? At the same time, I'm completing two things. One is the exercise, and second is I'm gaining knowledge. So, that's killing two birds with one stone. Next, while returning from the bank, George picked up the groceries, killing two birds with one stone. So he completed his bank's work as well as picked up the grocery. So that way he killed two birds with one stone. This is for you all. Watching English movies, you will kill two birds with one stone. While being entertained, you will improve your English. So keep that in mind. Well, the next one is let the cat out of the bag. And literally don't, make any cat come out of the bag. You're not a magician. You don't pull out a cat out of the bag. It figuratively means revealing a secret, usually without intending to. So you're not intending to reveal the secret, but sometimes you become absent-minded and you become gullible. Sometimes, you just open up that secret unknowingly sometimes. We were trying to keep the party a secret, but Maria let the cat out of the bag in our friend's meet. So there was a party arranged which we had kept all secret. We would have, told them right at the moment. So it would have been a surprise party. But Maria, our dear friend, when she was at the friends meet, she was so, bubbling with energy, and she was so exuberant, just she could not contain herself, and she just spilled the beans. Another idiom. Yes, she let the cat out of the bag, meaning the same. Shane was planning to buy a new car for his father and asked his mother not to let the cat out of the bag. So maybe for his father's birthday, Shane was planning to buy a new car for his father, and he wanted it to be a birthday surprise. So he warned his mother, who is, sometimes she finds it hard to keep secrets. So he has warned her that please don't let the cat out of the bag. That means please don't tell father about the birthday present. Let it be a surprise. The next one. Chief Minister's visit was strictly confidential, but someone must have let the cat out of the bag as the venue was teeming with reporters. So yes, it was a secret meeting. CM was supposed to attend, and people were not supposed to know because it was some hush-hush meeting for some reason, I don't know, but someone has obviously let the cat out of the bag. That means reveal the secret, and the place as usual is filled with reporters. Okay, the next one. Rat race. Okay, this is the last one, I guess. Now, what does this mean? It's not the race of the rats. Let's see what it means. It means the fierce competitive struggle of power or wealth in business and career. So, from where did this rat race, figurative meaning, originate? Actually, the term came from the race between two rats. When suppose they are at one end of the room and there's a cheese in the other end, both will run, rush to get the cheese before the other. It's a small piece of cheese. Like we'd say, it's not worth this fight, but they do that. So from that, the idea came. Rat race. Now let's look into the example. As it was being very stressful, Mr. Das decided to leave the rat race and retire to lead a peaceful life. So yes, Mr. Das was very tired of this rat race in his career. He was being very, fatigued and stressed out. So he wanted a break from it. So he wanted to retire early and lead a peaceful and calm life. Next, Rita quit the rat race in order to spend time with her family. So as she was very busy in her career, trying to vie for position after position and, the rat race, she did not have much time for her family, and she was feeling that she's neglecting her family a lot. She was feeling bad. I don't know. She didn't like the idea of being caught in that rat race, I guess. So she gave that up, and she preferred her family life, and she came back and, enjoyed with her family. Paul longed to quit the rat race and move to the countryside. So Paul also was not liking the fierce competition that he was facing. So he wanted to quit it and lead a peaceful life in the countryside. So that's all for today. Hope the lesson was useful. Let me know your thoughts in the comments section. I'll be back with a new lesson soon. Till then, take care, stay safe, be happy.